how many calories do you really need? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how many calories you need for your body. I'm going to give you an equation, show you the ins and outs of calories in versus calories out, and hopefully give you a few nuggets along the way that you haven't heard elsewhere. So what is a calorie? A calorie is a unit of energy. So it's not a unit of mass like a gram of food would be a unit of mass. A calorie is a unit of energy. So how they measure it in the lab, it is the energy it takes to increase a gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. An extremely strange process, but this is what a calorie is and this is how it is measured. So energy balance, or calories in versus calories out, as you've probably heard it is undisputed within the science. So it's been around for 5 decades. It's never been refuted, although some people on the internet say that calories don't matter. Calories 100% do matter. It is part of physics. There is a law called the law of thermodynamics, and this is basically energy can't be created or destroyed, so it has to be used. So whatever we eat, it either has to be burnt within us or it is going to get stored. Okay, so it's unrefuted. So people that say calories don't matter, their opinions don't matter, so don't listen to those people. So calories are the first thing that you need to look at when it comes to a diet, because they have the most significant impact on weight loss, on muscle gain, on your performance, and even on recovery. So it's the first thing we need to look at, and it is why it is the base of our nutritional pyramid. And this is what we're going to figure out in today's video. So there are 3 states of energy balance. There is hypocaloric. This means calorie deficit. So this means you are eating less calories than your body needs. And this is, if you are looking to lose fat, then this is the state you need to be in. You need to be in a hypocaloric state. The next one is isocaloric. So isocaloric just means the same. So this is maintenance. So this is what we need to eat to maintain our current physique and all of its bodily functions. And then we have hypercaloric. So hypercaloric is having more calories than we need. So this is if you are looking to go like up a weight class in boxing, if you just wanted to gain some mass, or you just want to get bigger as a person, then you need to be in a hypercaloric state. So this is eating more calories than your body actually requires. So this means you are going to store some of those calories as mass. So depending on your goal, whether it's to lose fat, whether it's to maintain muscle mass, whether it is to gain size, you will need to set your calories according to these 3 states. So although I've said about the 3 states and how you need to be hyper, or isocaloric to dictate your body weight, you can still drop body weight even in a calorie surplus. So this could be something like you go onto a ketogenic diet. So this is like no carbs. So you'll be on, for example, hypercaloric. So you're eating too many calories for your body. Your body could still drop weight because it is going to remove glycogen from your glycogen stores, so your liver and your muscles, and along with that water will go as well. So you can still be in a hypercaloric state or isocaloric state and still lose weight. You can still also gain weight while being in a hypocaloric state, so having less calories. So you can gain weight by, for example, if you have poor digestion, you're not clearing out the waste. This is going to cause you to gain weight even though you're eating less calories than your body needs. So this is the reason why when you do figure out your calories, you want to figure out your calories and stick with that set amount of calories for a couple of weeks and then weigh yourself daily, because this is where people go wrong. They'll weigh themselves like once or twice a week, just take those 2 readings and dictate what they're going to change within their diet based on that single reading. But if you take multiple readings throughout the week and then take the average of those readings, then you have more of an average what is going on, because you could have more food in your stomach one day, jump on the scale, see that the weight hasn't moved and be like, crap, I need to adjust my diet, and then take a bunch of food out of your diet. Okay, so this is the importance of weighing regularly when you are looking to gain, maintain, or lose weight. So when it comes to tipping the scale for energy balance, there is one way that we get calories into our body, and that is obviously consuming them, so eating them via our diet. So the way in, as you can see, is just one thing. So there is digestion, so your digestive capacity will affect this as well. So if your digestive capacity, if you aren't absorbing and assimilating foods as well as you could be, then the calories you're consuming might not all get absorbed. So this is one thing that will play a role, but consumption is the only way we get calories into our body. On the way out, there are several things that we have to take into account, and this is what I'm going to explain in the rest of the video. So your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, this is the calories you need to consume just lying down doing absolutely nothing. So when we don't do anything, our bodies are still burning through a bunch of calories because we have so many bodily processes, like your heart has to pump, your liver has to cleanse things, you have to breathe. There are so many bodily functions that are going on that require energy, that require calories. So your basal metabolic rate is the calories you need when doing absolutely nothing. So 60 to 70% of that will come down to all your organ functions, so like liver, heart, digestive tract, etc. Your muscles are metabolically active, but not as active as everybody thinks. So 1 kilogram of muscle, your body only burns an extra 13 calories. So if you were to gain 10 kilos of muscle, you're only going to burn an additional 130 calories. So it's really not much. So when people used to say, oh, just gain a bunch of muscle and your metabolism will go through the roof, it does help, but it's nowhere near as high as what we thought. And for that matter, fat is metabolically active, and fat will burn 6 calories per kilogram as well. So it's not too far off muscle. So I'm not saying just get fat, but the fatter you do get, the more calories you will burn. And then basal metabolic rate is also affected by things like your nutrient status. So if, for example, like the Krebs cycle or electron transport chain, things like that produce energy within our body aren't running correctly because they don't have the correct nutrients, then again, this will slow down metabolism. Things like hormones can slow down metabolism, inflammation. There are certain things that can affect this, but all in all, basal metabolic rate is the largest part of your calorie count. So next one is thermic effect of food. So when we consume calories, it actually takes calories to consume it because we have to digest and assimilate these nutrients, and they have a different thermic effect of food. So this means different macronutrients take different amount of calories to burn them and digest them. So for example, protein takes around 20 to 30% calories to ingest the calories. So this is one reason why on a fat loss diet, it is important because it can increase the thermic effect of food. And then alcohol, so alcohol is a nutrient, it is a macronutrient, it's 22%. So if you've ever had a couple drinks and felt like a bit warm or got like hot flushes, this is because of the thermic effect of food, because your metabolism is raising up to burn it. And then things like processed foods, these have a very low thermic effect of food because they are highly processed, because they've already been broken down and your body doesn't have to break them down as much to absorb them. And this is why back in the day, people used to believe that small meals used to stoke your metabolism, because they used to do research and they would see that your metabolism would raise after eating food. So they'd be like, oh wow, if you eat more throughout the day, then you're gonna get more of these raises. But it is actually down to the quantity of food you eat. If you were to eat 2,000 calories in one meal, your thermic effect of food would be very high. But if you ate those meals spread out over, for example, 10 meals, it would be very small, but it would equate to the same amount. So eating one meal compared to 10 doesn't mean anything for your metabolism. Then the third thing on getting calories out of our body is the exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is your exercise, this is your working out, this is going to the gym, going for a run, swimming, whatever your exercise is. But this doesn't really add too much to your total daily energy expenditure. Depending, obviously, if you're training a lot, then it will be a large portion. But in general, for the general population, this isn't a very large portion of your total daily energy expenditure. And then we have NEAT. So this is the final one. So this is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is all the things that you do, just like walking around the house, moving, if you're twitching a lot, if like for me you have like weird facial tics that you have, this, like just then I felt that, like this will increase my metabolism because I'm kind of very twitchy, I'm a very twitchy person. So this is why I'll burn through a lot of food. And I notice when I do go on a fat loss diet, this will minimize, because your body, this is one thing that your body will subconsciously down regulate. When you get to a certain point of decreasing your calories, your body wants to conserve energy as much as possible. So this is something it will decrease. So you will feel yourself like a little bit lazier, you'll slouch around a little bit more, the twitches that you have might calm down a little bit. So this is one thing that you can use for plateau busting, is to actively engage in those kind of behaviors, like moving around a bit more, like going for walks, increasing your steps, because this is a brilliant thing to add in to get through plateaus. So as you can see, there are several factors that go into getting calories out of the body. It's not just working out. Your basal metabolic rate is obviously the largest, and then NEAT would be the second biggest, the twitching, just moving around. But there are certain factors that you need to know when creating a diet of how you are getting calories out of the body. It's not just working out. So when we get now to creating your diet, we want to start with how many calories you need from a maintenance, and then from there, depending on your goal, you can obviously increase calories or decrease calories. How I like to start is with the Mifflin equation. So this is what I use for all of my clients. And this is, let me show you, as you can see, it is 10 times your weight in kilograms plus 6.25 times your height in centimeters minus 5 times your age. And if you're male, plus 5, if you're female, minus 161. Okay, so this is what it looks like for me. So these are my measurements. So I'm 82 kilos, I am 182 centimeters, and I'm 35 years old. Obviously look a lot younger because I don't look like shit. But this is the equation, so if you want to do this equation, write this down. So my estimated BMR, so that is my basal metabolic rate, what I need to eat without doing anything, is 1,788 calories. And then to get my total daily energy expenditure, which we'll go on to next. So your total daily energy expenditure is everything together. So that's all of your BMR, your NEAT, your exercise, that's all of it encompassed into one. And this is going to be what your calories will be for the day. So now what we do is we take your basal metabolic rate and we times it by this activity multiplier. So depending on how active you are will depend on what you're going to times this by. So for example, I would say I'm moderately active. I'm training about 4 times a week. I do a couple of dog walks, but a lot of the time I'm sat in here and I'm just working for clients. So I'm going to be timesing mine by 1.55, and this is what it looks like. So my estimated total daily energy expenditure, so obviously basal metabolic rate times the multiplier, is 2,771 calories. Okay, so this is what you want to get to. You want to get to this number. Once you have reached this number, you're going to eat this amount of calories for a couple of weeks to see if this is correct. So if you do lose weight, then obviously add a few more calories in. If you gain weight, then take a few calories out. But do this for at least 2 weeks and maintain this number and see what your weight does. So you want to be trying to weigh yourself every single day and take the average from each week. Okay, so like before, if I said if you jumped on the scale and you had a bit too much food in your stomach, or you were just holding a bit of water because of inflammation, then you could have a reading that is exaggerated for no reason. So make sure you weigh in every single day over the 2 weeks. And if you're feeling lazy and you don't want to go through that calculation, there is a very quick calculation you can do. It is not too bad, it's quite accurate. I would say do the other calculation, the one we just went through, the Mifflin. But if you don't want to, do 15 times your body weight in pounds and you will get a rough estimate of your total calories for the day. If you do have any questions, drop them below and I'll see you in the macronutrients video next.